Ask me those questions. Guys, Walter and Rowley Real Estate Mentor, welcome back. This is post-Mastermind. This is our second meetup for this year, 2020. We're saying 2020 vision, so everybody's setting their goals, net worth of $1 million, because earning $1 million is a sucker's trade. Anybody who's talking about income, we were just talking about today with one of our new friends, and they're a real estate agent, and they're like, well, I just want to earn $1 million, and earning $1 million is great until you have to pay the $400,000 in taxes. I'm fine with taxes, but I don't want to have to work again next year. So your agency and your wholesaling income is really for buying a portfolio that makes money, right? And it pays itself down, and you get the appreciation, you get the amortization, you get the depreciation on the mortgage, and you get the cash flow. And then you have a couple of other nice benefits from expenses and having your own business and the discounts at Home Depot. And there's so many opportunities from having the rental portfolio that, yes, you suck it up for 2 or 3 years or 4 or 5 years, and then you sell that portfolio, or you sell or finance it, and you trade it into more stable products that are a little easier, but you get more income, and you can retire faster, right? Who wants to retire a millionaire? Everybody. Who wants to retire a multimillionaire? Okay, I heard more. Wow, excellent. Me too. What can I say? I've been one of those greedy people since I was a kid. Ever since I was a child, I remember thinking, wow, everybody's fighting over money. Whoa, everybody's like, why is my dad leaving me? Oh, he's got to go to work. Why is he working a second job? Because he's got to make money. So I was like, damn, like making money seems like an important thing to figure out. As a kid, I realized money was kind of how the whole world worked. Like everybody was like running around looking for money. You telling money's not important. Anybody here think money's not important? I know, you don't want to raise your hands now. This room knows better. Facebook asked me, is money important? Instagram, right? So when people say, oh, money's not important, my first thought in my head, I never say this to somebody, but my first thought is, what do you do for 40 hours a week? What's the one thing you can say? When I say 40 hours a week, what's the first thing that comes to your head? First thing that comes to your head, 40 hours a week.
Job.
You're working. Job, right?
Watching my grandbabies.
You spend time with your grandbabies. Because you're what?
Watching my grandbabies.
Because you're retired, right? You're retired already. That's why you're spending time with your grandbabies. But most people, when I say 40 hours a week, they're thinking of a job that they're working to get paid, right? They're working for money. They're spending a third of their life hunting for money. Does that make sense? Tell me money's not important, right? Try. Tell me money's not important when you're spending a third of your entire life. The other third is spent sleeping, right? Yeah. Like that's, like I love sleep too, but I don't know if I love work as much as I love sleep. And then what's the other third? What do you guys do with the other third, the other 8 hours a day you have?
Fun.
Is it? Mm-hmm. Or is it 4 or 5 hours on TV?
Yeah.
Oh, you're studying. You're an anomaly, Joe. A lot of people in this room are an anomaly. We're reading books, we're studying. But there is a very different mentality of what goes on in people's lives for those 8 hours. I had somebody ask me yesterday, good friend of mine, he studies and reads a lot. He said, how much do you read a night? Like, how much do you read every week? He asked the question. I was like, dude, week? I don't know. I read 2 to 4 hours a day. So add that up, like whatever that comes out to. And it's what, 14 to 28 hours a week I'm reading, right? Reading or absorbing some sort of information or content, or audio book, whatever it may be. And his question was, how do you do it? I was like, well, do you watch 4 to 5 hours of TV a day? And he's like, well, yeah, but it's with my kids. Entertain your kids with money. Like, I don't care what you do. This is what I do, right? You ask the keys to success. I don't care what you do. I don't care how you spend your time. I want you to be successful. I'll tell you what I've done to do that. Education has been the key. Paying for courses, I've paid over $85,000, and I'm not talking about college, right? $85,000 to travel all across the country and talk to my coaches, and I'm going to Las Vegas. Yeah, I'm going to Las Vegas, right? I joked about it when I came in the room, but I'm going for a training. I'm going for a mastermind, a high-level mastermind with other millionaires in the room. I'm going with the Mac Murrays, right? These guys are buying 10 houses this year. Those are the people I'm playing with, right? I paid $35,000 to be a part of that. Plus another $20,000 just to have one-on-one coaching with my coach. I paid another 10 grand to have an event that I traveled across the country to learn how to speak, right? To become a speaker and a trainer. And when people say, oh, you're so good at it, no shit, I'm good at it. I better be, right? I paid a lot of money to be this good, like where I'm at, to have these connections. Wow, you know that person? I paid for it. Yeah, it better be. So there's a lot of value. Like when I say what I've spent on books, I spent probably $2,500 on books. Right, my library at my house is about 150. My Audible is over 200. Right, so what I've spent on books. People are like, wow, that's a lot of money. Are you kidding? Do you know how much I make? Do you know how much those books have produced for me? How much that information and knowledge will give you? So it's different, right? You live a different life. You've got to think money's important. You've got to adjust. What's up, brother?
I'm all set down there.
All right, I'll lock it up when you're done.
Okay.
Oh, you're all set. Thank you. Have a good weekend.
Thank you very much. I'll talk to you later.
Appreciate you, man. Is it all set? All empty?
Say again?
Is all the metal gone?
Everything that I've seen in that room metal-wise.
Get over here. Get over here. Come on, one high five, man.
Oh, I don't. There you go. You're welcome.
My scrap guy. If you guys got scrap, he will take the metal.
I will take all your metal for
What's your cell phone number?
Your dad has it. I don't have business cards on me.
Okay.
I'm in the process of making them up again. I want to redo my logos.
No worries.
And I do concrete work, masonry work, stucco work.
Look at this guy. Natural born salesperson. What's your cell
buying
phone?
houses? Is that what you guys are doing?
Every one of these guys is a buyer, right?
Good luck. Good luck. I bought mine 7 years ago, my first one.
You ready to sell
I
it?
have, huh? No. My first one down. My first one down here, and I have two up in Boston.
You want to buy more?
I do.
Hey, man. All right.
You know what?
Dad's gonna hook you up.
Absolutely.
Okay.
But he's helping my daughter right now.
Very
So,
good.
Everybody, good luck, and I hope you all get what you want.
Thank you, brother.
Thanks,
Have a
boss.
great weekend.
I'll talk to you later, G.
Thank you. I just transacted no money, but my basement's empty. How cool is that? So, when it's all about abundance. It's about helping people, right? That's one of our clients. His daughter is one of our clients. We're going to buy a house through my father, and guess what? He also likes to make money. He's got a couple multifamilies, 2 in Boston, 1 down here. I just found out because I had a different conversation than most people would have. Does that make sense? Had a very different conversation about, well, hey, how are you? What are you doing? Because he knows, I make it obvious what I do, right? You should make it wear it on your sleeve. Wear the shirt, right? Let people ask you, what do you do? Wear the hat, right, Mario? Let them know. Let them know. Wear the bracelet. It's a wristband. Wristband of power. These are don't be a secret agent, right? Ron Rusin used to tell us to me when I worked for Remax. Don't be a secret agent, right? Secret agents don't get paid. It's the same in investing. He has 3 houses. Potential seller. He's in the age range, right? He's in his 50s probably. So he's in the age range of selling. Or I'm an agent. Or you're a wholesaler. Maybe you're gonna go help him buy the next property. Right? He said he was interested in buying. I only had 3 minutes with him, less than that. Found out all the stuff that's valuable to moving forward. Does that make sense? So, we just didn't get the money. We did get the money literally 2 days ago. Joe was there. I had how do you pronounce his name? Kaylin was there. He was at Get the Money, right? Who else was at Get the Money? And you've taken it twice now, Josh.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is your second time taking Get the Money.
I really want it embedded into my brain.
Because you should. This is why I take classes twice. The class I'm going to in Vegas, I've taken 6 times. This is my 7th time going back to the same 3-day training. You know what the training is called? Maverick Selling System. Double your income in 12 months. You know why I go back every year?
You want to double your income.
That's a good reason, isn't it? Do you know why I go back every quarter?
Double your income.
That's a good reason, isn't it?
Yes.
I want to double my income. I want to double my net worth. I've consistently done it over the last 5 years. That's 6 years now. Double, 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 double. I'm at 2.5 million right now. You know what I have to do this year? I have to double 2.5 million. You think the mindset has to change a little bit? The adjustments have to be made. So I'll be in Las Vegas the week of the 26th, 27th, 28th.
I think so, yeah.
I'll be in Las Vegas. No, the mastermind's 2 days before.
It
Whatever.
starts before that.
The Friday, Saturday, Sunday of the last week of February. I'll be in Las Vegas, the Maverick Selling System, getting knowledge from my coach. You know what the ticket costs?
29.
$300. $300 for me to go out there for 3 days and get drilled into my head the keys to success. Worth it, right? and I'll be in Las Vegas. You think I won't have fun? I lived there for 3 months. I know what to do while I'm out there. It's okay, right? Doesn't take much to get me out to Las Vegas. You guys are gonna have a blast. It will be a lot of fun. So, Get the Money was the prelude, the precursor to Get the Deal, right? Because once you realize how to get the money, and by the way, I didn't talk about it in Get the Money, so I want to clean this up now. I also have the promissory note that you go and borrow money from. I emailed that to everybody who was at the event. Everybody got that email?
Yep.
Okay. So that is like, dude, there's no questions now. You can build your own package. You can go talk to lenders. Anybody is a lender, attorneys, doctors, engineers, anybody who's old landlords, anybody who's accumulated funds at some point is now a lender. I have business owners in California who lend to me. So I have buddies of mine who are mortgage brokers in Denver who lend to me. So there's money in every conversation that you could possibly have with anybody. Attorneys, right? Attorneys, friends of mine are lending to me. Other landlords. So there's the package. It covers the cover letter, covers the Bigger Pockets calc, covers the PFS form, the personal financial statement. It covers having, the promissory note is there. Everything you need, right? And you get an agent to do the CMA for you. What agents in the room? Like half of you, right? Half of you. So the Get the Money was valuable, but Get the Deal is where all the money is. Get the Deal is where you're going to learn how to wholesale. Where you're going to learn how to talk to the sellers. We're going to learn to find your properties. We're going to take it to the next step and have an army of people bringing you deals, right? Where are my wholesalers at? Who wants to sell me property? Yeah. All right. Who wants to sell me property? Throw your hands up. Who wants to get paid to sell me property? Yeah, everybody in this room.
There you go.
Josh St. Fort is a phenomenal wholesaler. I've been working with him for maybe a year now. He's about to make $10,000 this month off me from just a couple of phone calls. And I did a little bit of negotiation for him. In fact, I went on the appointment with him. We were about to lose it. We walked away. And I turned around. I pulled the Columbo. I was like, would you drop the price from $750 to $700 if I close in 30 days? And he said yes. Because we were at a hard no. And I dropped him $50,000 with one statement. One question. And I was like, oh, cool. All right, we might have a deal. So it's Josh, here you go. You got a deal. I don't want it because I can't take this on right now. I'm buying 24 other buildings. I can't do this. So I walk away from it. Josh can't find a buyer. Right? His marketing isn't in the right market, isn't in the right direction. He's not pushing it. He's pushing hard, but just not in the right spaces, right? So he can't find the buyer. The deal falls apart. Josh gets a call early week of December, and the guy says, hey, that guy that we talked to who wanted it, is he still interested? And I told Josh, go back to $650. Tell him $650, and I might buy it. Right? I'll personally buy this. So he says, I'll take it. I'll sell it for $650. So I get the response. I'm like, oh, shoot. Ron, hey, my business partner. We're going to go buy it for $650. Does this make sense, right? This is how the deals work for you, right? You want to buy it for $650. Ron says, if your head's not hanging in shame, because we just got a new coach. We spent $5,000 on this new coach, Charlie Dobbins, the multifamily investor. And he teaches you how to buy big properties, right? He says, if your head's not hanging in shame, complete shame, that you've taken advantage of the seller, your price isn't low enough. So Ron says, would your head hang at shame at $600,000? I was like, dude, I don't want to go back and say that. I'm embarrassed to say. He's like, then say $600,000. So I went back and I said, I'll close $600,000. And he says yes. Right? Round of applause for the seller who's so negotiable.
There you go.
who didn't want to close at $750, but decided he'd close at $6. Right? Now we're getting to it. His one stipulation is that he has to close December 31st. Has to close December 31st. So I told him, I was like, well, I can close it December 31st, but I'm going to need you to carry $60,000 of the note. I need you to carry 10% of the note. So he said, okay, I'll carry 10% of the note at 12% interest. I just told him. I told him it's 12% interest, right? I didn't leave him to think about it, or because a confused mind says no. If there's too many options out there, he has to think. He's going to be like, I don't know. But if I go to the highest price, say, here you go, I'll pay you 12% on your $60,000. You're getting a $600 check a month. Are you cool with that until I refinance? He said yes. So how much money am I bringing to the closing table? I did the math too. It's not a lot. But there is 2 points on my hard money, and I do have to pay for closing costs. So it's about $15,000 I have to bring to the table. Plus, I owe my wholesalers $10,000 for the purchase. So really, I'm bringing to the table $25,000. Does that make sense? No, because I borrowed money from another friend of mine at 12% interest, and I pay her $300 a month for the $30,000 I borrowed. So how much am I bringing to the table now?
Now 0.
Yeah, now it's 0. Now we got down to me bringing absolutely nothing to the table. And how many people am I paying?
2.
5.
I'm paying a hard money lender,
Oh, yeah.
$540,000 back, so it's almost $5,000 a month. I've got
The private 60 note,
private 60
30
note, seller note, yep, and I've got my
30 note.
private note from a friend.
and your wholesaler.
Exactly.
So that's 4.
So I'm into this $610,000. My total money I'm paying every month is $6,100. I'm buying 11 units. 11 units that currently bring in $7,000. Now, what is the first thing I do when I go into a building? I raise the rents. I raise rents, I turn tenants out, I fix units, I put tenants in. The goal is to get these 11 units up to about $10,000 a month. Very feasible, very feasible. And then refinance and cut my mortgage down on that probably another $2,000 a month. $600,000 I should be paying somewhere around, this is a $250,000, I pay $1,800 a month, I'll be paying somewhere around $4,000 a month. So it'll save me $2,000. No, you did the math quick, Charisse. Give Charisse a round of applause. That's good stuff. Look at you doing the math. That's quick. Margaret, we miss you. I see you online, but I don't see you here. Dave, what's up, brother? You got to get in next week. All right, so that made sense. That breakdown made perfect sense. Yes? That's get the money. That's how get the money works in real life. Right? Joe, you had a question.
Yes, so I'm going into acquisition now, right? Or
Yep.
at least put all this knowledge into practice. So I'm gonna go look at houses in about a half hour.
Nice.
What are all the key questions I should ask that real estate agent?
Very good. So key question to ask a real estate, your buyer's agent is what you're saying, right?
Yes.
Okay. So key questions to ask your buyer's agent. You want to know the age of the roof, because that is an expense I hate taking. Of all the expenses in a property, that one I hate taking. Right? Age of the roof, and if it's within 5 to 10 years like of life left, so average roof lasts 25 years, if it's got 15 years on it, you're okay. Anything over that 15 mark, I negotiate to have the roof replaced or bring the price down on the property. So ask for the roof, age. The other one is rent roll, because if you're looking at multifamilies, if you're looking at things that have rents, so you want to know the rent roll.
So rent rolls what each tenant's paying out.
What each tenant is paying. Yep. You want to know what because you're dealing with 3 families in Fall River?
Yes.
So the landlords are unsophisticated. They're not going to have NOIs, they're not going to have their expenses put together. You're going to have to know your expenses, typical expenses for the area. So your next question is going to be, how long have the tenants been here?
Yep.
You're going to get into the units, so you're going to see the tenants. Really, beyond that, just be looking. Be really paying attention. You want to be, if the electrical panels need to be replaced, so if you see fuse boxes or you see the meters still inside the basement, that's going to be a $4,000 or $5,000 cost on that 3-family. So those are big hits. You want to make sure that if you have anything like that, you get that negotiated before the close, right? Have them go and do those replacements. Gas meters still being in the basement, those are things, because when you go to do it, you're going to have to pay the plumber to replace that. Anytime you pull a permit when the meters are still down there, they're going to force you to go and remove those. So those are expenses that you keep an eye out for, and just ask for them to be done before the closing. Other than that, you're just looking for messy tenants, you're looking for quality tenants.
Sorry, Gene.
No problem,
I think I left my Sawzall
Yeah,
downstairs.
go ahead, go get
So
it.
sorry, kids.
You're very welcome. I wouldn't want to leave my Sawzall behind either.
Yeah, my wife bought it for me, so
That's a good wife.
I don't want to listen. One more.
No, absolutely.
You had also said in our text message, will they hold paper? What is that exactly?
Will they hold paper? So what I just described to you is a seller holding paper.
Okay.
Will they hold 10%? Will they take a note? If you're dealing with 3 families, they're less savvy investors, not a good chance, right? If you're dealing with 6 families, the investor's a little more intelligent. They've more investor mindseted, so there's a good chance that they'll understand what you're talking about. When it comes to holding paper, most agents don't know what that means. Most real estate agents have no clue what a lot of, Lisa, right? They have no clue. So holding paper, you have to explain to them that it's simple, it's safe. Have them call me. Any agent in the area knows me, but they don't know real estate investing.
I'm using Matt.
Oh, you're good. Oh, shit. No, the problem is the seller's agent.
Yep.
So Matt's going to have to work this out. He'll have that conversation with them.
Okay.
So that won't be an issue. He'll do the negotiations for you.
Okay.
But seller finance, just ask them the whole paper. Don't ask for more than 20%. Doesn't make sense. Because you're getting traditional financing anyway.
Okay.
So the idea is to have them hold some of that paper so that you can either do renovations with that money. The bank's not gonna, if you're doing residential loan.
What for what I'm doing here?
Yeah, it's a
I
3.
haven't even decided yet. I wasn't on.
Residential will be
There's
cheaper
just
right now.
Residential.
Yeah,
loans.
residential will be cheaper. Down payment's the same anyway. So residential, they are gonna require 25% down if you're not moving in because you're already on that condo, right?
Yep.
So there's a good chance they won't let you move into it. But if they do, because you can say your job's down here or something along those lines, then you're only putting 3% down. Nice, easy deal. That paper you have them hold, you can use for renovations. Or you do a 2 or 3K too. That's way cheaper than paying somebody 12%. The first one's the easiest one. Doing your first transaction is literally the simplest one. So you just go in with almost no money, buy the house, renovate it. It has to pass FHA or conventional standards, so the house will be in decent shape. That's why the first deal is your worst deal, right? You're overpaying for them. But after that, then you start getting into having to do renovations and find tougher properties. But in the beginning, you're on market. You're fine.
Okay.
Any other questions on that?
Nope. I'm gonna follow this.
Excellent.
Then
Take care, brother.
All right, I'll talk
Thank
to
you
you and
again.
your dad later.
Sounds
And
good.
I'm sure I'll have many questions after this.
Yeah.
You know, so but I'll at least get my feet wet today.
Yes, absolutely. And that's the thing is, we do a lot at the mastermind. We do a lot on this, and there's a lot of talking, a lot of information, but the action steps are where the money's made, right? That's why after I just started doing it with you guys this week. After we talk, I'm setting an action step. How's Marcia doing with refinancing her house?
We got,
I'll
we got
refinance
3
it
other
with-
people,
Yeah,
bids.
we got bids. We got to say yes. All right, we got to say yes to somebody,
Yes to the
to a contractor.
contractor.
Yeah.
I already have a yes to the contractor.
The yes. When does the work start?
When she says yes.
So
She's
we
the
gotta like push Marcia to say
Yeah.
yes. Is that why she's not here today?
one. No, she's in Canada.
In Canada. All right, Marcia. Just so you know, I'm concerned that you went to Canada so you could avoid the accountability here today.
Yeah. There you go.
So the story of Marcia is she's been sitting on a house and she's let it go and she's let it go. It just wasn't fixing it, wasn't repairing it. Just didn't have the money, didn't have the care to do it. And she's been looking for a flip. She's been out looking for a flip and looking to wholesale other people's properties when she was sitting in a flip herself. Right, sitting on all this equity. The house is paid off. A big opportunity for her. And sometimes we do this. I've been hunting for flips and said, man, I'm looking for a 3-family right now to flip or a 4-family to flip. And then I realized I only owe $100,000 on this property I own. Well, how am I going to flip that? I already own it. It's already stabilized. It's easy to sell. All right, Brightman Street, right? We just finished that. All I had to do was one renovation, renovate one unit, and that's done. By the way, you guys got to see the unit. It looks amazing. I think my dad's showing it today, but I'm not sure. But if you guys do want to see it, I'll drive over there because I got to grab lunch down that side of the city anyway. Who wants to see Brightman Street?
Yeah.
Yeah? All right, cool. So we just finished the reno. I signed off on it yesterday. It was an $18,000 reno. It was more than I expected. I was expecting $15,000. It went to $18,000. Does that happen sometimes?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, welcome to the game, right? Yeah, that happens sometimes. And but when you see the property, you see the condo, like you see the unit, the way it came out, it's just phenomenal. Get the deal. I want to talk about Get the Deal a little bit because Get the Deal is probably a class that I've put the most amount of work into. That's what this whole mastermind was built around, was finding out what wholesalers need, what agents need, what other investors are looking for, the questions you guys have. And I've built a training a lot like Get the Money, but much bigger. It's much more intensive. There is a lot of moving around. There's a lot of chairs. I'm going to take you guys out on the town. So who's seen me tour the city before? You ever seen my Facebook post where I'm like in one place and 10 minutes later I'm in another place, I'm in another place? You seen that? So if you follow my stories, you'll see me go out and I'll start hitting a little section of the city. And then suddenly it's like, wow, how do you get to the other end of the city so quickly? And it's another section of the city. I'm always taking pictures with people who are either prominent or just fun or people that have good influence on Facebook, right? Do you think that works for getting more business, for getting people to know that who I am, what I'm doing, that I invest in real estate. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's great in social media for sure, but it's also great in person. Especially because bartenders, why do people go to the bar? Why do people go to the bar?
To make money.
That's why we go to the bar.
Oh.
Why else do you go to
Socialize.
the bar?
Oh,
Right.
yeah. So-
Socialize.
Relax.
Socialize,
Or just
relax,
unwind.
drink,
Vent.
vents.
Network.
Yeah.
Meet new people.
Yeah, that's why we go to the bar.
Try to meet your significant other.
Try to meet a significant other, yes,
Crazy.
right?
Significant investor.
Get, like, every bartender I know says they're like a therapist,
Yep.
right? Every bartender I know, every realtor I know says that they're a therapist, right? So when we're at the bar, the bartender knows what's going on in everybody's life, right? So when I go over to the bartender, I say, who's selling a house right now? Who's going through a divorce? Who just died? Who just lost somebody, right?
Right.
My first question, right? Oh, I don't even have to ask because all the bartenders in this city know who I am and what I do. So I walk in and a bartender's like, "Oh, hey, that's the real estate guy," and it's super simple because I've branded myself so well and I'm so close with everybody in the city. So everybody who runs a business or is a manager or is a bartender, they know who I am. Or if they're a prominent place at an industry or a business, like we've had the conversation and they know what I do. So for them, it's a great opportunity to share, right? If you haven't built what I've built, it's time to start. And if you're going to invest in a city, you've got to know the city. How else are you going to learn it? Meet the people who own property in the city. Meet the tenants. Go out and hang out with them, right? Get comfortable in the area that you're looking to buy property. Get comfortable with the spaces. Oh, I've been to that restaurant. I've been to that bar. I've been to, I know exactly where you're talking about. I've driven by that house, right? Having those conversations becomes way easier when you're in someone's house and you say, oh, you checked out that restaurant. Oh, yeah, best food. Opens them up, right? You've really got to get into a niche. So we're going to tour the city. We're going to tour the city Saturday night. That's going to be the 25th. It's 25th and 26th is the event. But if you want to hang, we're going to go tour the city. Here's the deal. We'll be out till 2 o'clock in the morning. This is not a easy day, right? This is 8 o'clock in the morning till 2 o'clock at night. We'll be talking real estate the entire time. The entire time. Like, it doesn't stop, right? You've seen how we do it at Maverick, right? When we're in Vegas, we're talking double the money the entire time, from 8 in the morning till 2 o'clock at night, sometimes 4 o'clock at night. I've been out gambling with Paul till 4 o'clock at night, right? Because we were just talking, we were learning, and we were going, and he stayed up longer than I did. I had to get back to the hotel to sleep.
And then up at 8 o'clock.
And up at 8 o'clock, and he still came out with crazy energy to teach the class, right? And that's why I learned it. But get the deal, we're going to talk about building your list, how to get other people to call your list, virtual assistants, and not just virtual assistants for calling your list, VAs to do your research, to get your, like you guys use Fiverr now to build your list and get all the phone numbers. We're going to talk about Mojo, we're going to talk about RVM, we're going to talk about email lists, we're going to talk about mailers, text messaging strategies, how to qualify people to actually decide whether this is the right investment, how to build your list appropriately and not just put a 5,000 person list together because you could, right? If the list is more than 500 people, you're not getting through it. I know, because I've tried that, right? My list is 300. The people I have to talk to is about 300 right now. And I'm already like, I gotta offload some of this, right? I belong around 200, 250. You belong around 200, 250. And if you're working a part-time job, or by the way, how many hours do you work a week, Amy?
40.
It's a part-time job, just so we're clear. You're a full-time investor. That makes sense? Part-time, you work 40 hours a week for somebody else. That makes sense?
Yeah.
What does your Facebook page say? Where do you work?
I work at Keller Williams.
That's right.
And that's it.
That's it. That's it. Sharice, what's your Facebook page say?
Miracle Solutions.
That's your investment
That's my
company.
investment.
Very good. Give her a high five. Mario, give her that high five. Give it to her.
There you
She
go.
deserves it.
There you
Good
go.
stuff. All right. Joe?
Where I work,
Yeah?
Cape Cod beer.
What's it say on Facebook?
Cape Cod beer.
Come on, man.
That's what it says.
Because you're a salesperson, it's gotta be. So those elements, because you're in sales, you have to show, right, where you work. When you become 100% dedicated to investing, Cape Cod Beer will become your part-time job. Even though you're putting 40 hours a week into it, or 60 hours a week into it, it's still your part-time job. Mentally, has to become that way. Does that make sense? I say it's all real estate agents, all wholesalers, all investors, all landlords, all flip guys. Look, What do you do for a living? I make money through real estate investing. That's it. When I'm out at a bar, it changes though. When I'm at a bar and I'm hunting for women, right, Joe?
I mean, I don't have.
I say I flip houses. Right? No, not you, but me.
I have a woman.
Good job.
Put me on
Just
camera.
being clear, he
I'm
is
very
in a
committed.
relationship. We want to be very clear. He knows. Joe, I don't know. That wasn't very clear.
We're gonna tag that.
Hashtag Joe's in a relationship. So when I'm out looking for a partner or just a fun girl to hang out with, I'm having the conversation. I flip real estate, right? But when I'm actually out looking for property, I say I buy real estate, right? When I'm talking to people who own real estate, people who are going to bring me deals, I say I buy real estate, right? When I'm talking to people that I know I'm looking to raise capital from, I say I help people make a good return on investment, a 12% return on investment through buying real estate with no work from them, right? The pitch changes. What you do for a living depends on the room you're in. Unfortunately, most of you will not be in as many rooms as me, right? I have to change my pitch because I'm doing a lot of things. I run multiple companies, multiple branches. For any one of you, you're only doing one thing at a time. Even me, I'm only doing one thing at a time. You won't hear me say I do multiple things when I'm out. If I'm out in a big, large group, I'm a real estate mentor. I teach people how to make money in real estate. That's the avenue I have to take when I'm in a room, when I'm on stage, right? But it makes more sense when I'm networking at the same room, but I'm not on stage. My conversation is completely different. I help people make good money. I'm raising capital right now. I help people make good money. That's it, right? I'm buying property in Fall River. I'm buying property in Fall River. 3 families up. You've got to get very clear about what you're doing because otherwise people won't be clear about what you're doing, right? The conversation we had earlier with the guy who's taking scrap only happened because I'm in a room full of real estate investors. The signs are obvious. Does that make sense? How can you walk around and make it obvious you do what you do? What's up, Nick? Right? Think of things. What can you do to make it obvious that you do what you do? So at Get the Money, we're going to talk about all the different marketing strategies. I hammer on social media in a way that nobody else does. But it doesn't take me a long time. Who thinks I spend more than 30 minutes on social media a day? I bet you guys spend more time on there than I do. Does that make sense? My time is efficient as hell. When I'm on social media, it's a job. I do it real quick, I'm in and I'm out. If I spend an hour on Facebook a day, I would be shocked. It's just not something I have to do. I can create my content and I keep moving. Yes, when I'm out with people, they're like, wow, you're always doing pictures, you're always taking video, because it's right there, that's why. All right, I was looking for it. When I'm out, you'll see me pull the camera out often, right? But I'm not looking at it unless I'm texting somebody. It's out and I'm taking a picture, right? You guys ready? Get that? I'm doing a little video. I'm creating content constantly. As marketers, I'm gonna teach you how to do that. I'm gonna teach you how to create content constantly in a simple way so it doesn't take a ton of your time. Because you want the deals coming to you. I've bought property off of Facebook, off of Instagram, off of Snapchat, not off of Twitter. I'm not that great at it yet. But in LinkedIn, I found lenders on LinkedIn, right? I've had people lend money to me on LinkedIn. So there's all the different social medias have different reasons for using them, but Facebook's probably the easiest one to get into. You're all on it, right? Everybody's got a Facebook? Yeah, excellent. So that's a social media that brings a ton of leads in. The getting out and door knocking and driving for dollars, I think is crazy. I honestly do. I think that like door knocking and driving for dollars is the last thing I do. I haven't done it in 3 years because I don't have to, right? All the other marketing plans work way better, right? Why would I drive for dollars when I've got somebody just told me they want to sell their house to me for dirt cheap? Okay, I'll just go look at this deal. There's too many awesome, easy deals coming to me because the systems are so good. You want the deals coming to you. You don't want to be door knocking or driving for dollars. Cold calling? I don't do it. I haven't done it in years, right? You guys will see me. I'll do cold calling for 15, 20 minutes to train you how to do it, right? Teach you, show you how to do it. I'll use Mojo, but I'm not cold calling. I'm calling my friends and my buddies, right? I'm calling through people that I know have what I want, right? I'm not calling strangers. I'm calling people I know who have what I want. You know how I met them? I asked somebody else to introduce me, right? It's a very tight, simple process. In these rooms, I've got a room full of wholesalers, got a room full of real estate agents. I can just call and say, hey, I can send a text to everybody. Hey guys, I'm looking for this. What do you got? right? How many times have you heard what I want? Who here knows what I'm buying right now? Yeah? What am I buying right now, Andrew?
Property in Fall River. 6 is over.
Wow, look at the details.
You said 3, over.
Yeah,
Just
see?
now you changed. Yeah.
Because the 3s are flips.
Right.
So I'll buy the 3s for flips. But yeah. But very,
Right.
very clear that I'm buying a Fall River, 3s and up, 6 and up. If somebody brings me a 6 and up and doesn't bring me 3s, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense, Lisa? Now you know what I get?
I'm keeping
Yeah.
the 3s, I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. That's fine. See, it's not even worth telling him. Just what am I buying?
6 is enough, 40 units.
Yeah? See that? Oh, she knows how much I pay per unit. Excellent. I'll give Jess a high five. Give her a round of applause. Yes. Jess, you're awesome. There's no question of what I'm buying, right? You guys are my contacts. You guys are the people I have to build. What do I always tell you? I want you to be very successful. Who's heard me say that to them? Yeah, I want you to be very successful. I mean that from the bottom of my heart, because if you're successful, it means I'm getting money too, right? What is your success based on? Bringing me property and I'm paying you, right? All the other investors out there are like, I'm keeping it to myself. I'm not teaching my competition. Dude, you're not competition. You're my replacements, right? How do I get to the next level if I'm still doing the same job I'm doing down here? How can you ever get to the next level if you're not training somebody behind you? Right? If you're not teaching somebody how to wholesale to you, how to collect money, how to get private money, when you need it, who's going to get it for you? Right? You've got to be building the next generation. You've got to be training the next people. I'm training, I'm teaching, I'm giving you guys everything so that you can bring me the one thing I want. It's more property. Right? That's it. Just more property. My goal, I want to make my city a better place. Right? I know how to do that. Training you guys by teaching you guys to be better investors, better landlords, getting better tenants, putting the right rates, getting the money later, becoming a better agent, becoming a better wholesaler, becoming a better investor. Right? By teaching you guys, my city rises. I hang with politicians occasionally. I do. I hang with business owners. And this is what they can't figure out. I hang with other realtors. Sometimes I'm out drinking with a realtor, and they'll say, I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. I know they don't know. I know they have no clue what I'm doing because they think I teach so that I can be a real estate agent. They think that's why I teach, right? No, I'm a real estate agent because I'm helping my students, right? Like I'll go out, I'll help. If you're buying property in Fall River, probably for the next month or two, I'll personally help you do it, right? I will actually go on the appointments. I'll personally help you do it. I will for the next 2 months. And then I'm going back to what I normally do and just passing it out to other agents, just doing referrals. But for the next 2 months, I'm going to get back into the mix because I'm going to start building the team again. And I want to be able to personally say that I know exactly what all my agents are going through. So I will, for the next 2 months, work buyers, right? Only investments, only in Fall River, because I'm not wasting my time outside of it. This doesn't make sense. And what's that going to do? Any agent in this room should be hunting for buyers in their city that they're buying properties in. You're going to see all the properties, you're going to meet all the agents, you're going to meet all the owners. This is how you become more successful. Be an investor yourself, right? You can't sell something you don't believe in. I was joking around with you guys earlier, right? You know why I can sell real estate? Because I own more real estate than most people. I'm one of the top 20 landlords in this city. When you look at the guys who own the most, right? I'll take a look. I'll take a clap. Yeah. One of the top coolest. For sure I'm the coolest. When it comes to the small landlords, right? I'm not talking about the guys who own 100-unit buildings, 200-unit buildings. When it comes to the small landlords, I have right now 24 condos and another 33 units. That's 57 units. There's only a handful of guys. There's about 20 other guys who are bigger than that. And some of them are significantly bigger than. We're talking 200 units. We're talking 300 units, 400 units. Some of them are significantly bigger than me. But in this ballpark, I'm in that top range. Does that make sense? Like I'm in the top 40. I'm one of the biggest in the top 40, right? Because technically it kind of knocks out the other 20. That's how I sell the stuff, right? No wonder everybody wants to work with me because I can tell you the numbers. I believe in it. I love it. I'm like, yeah, this is my product manager. Here, use them. Be that, right? Be that. Become like Jess. You're an agent too, right? Mm-hmm. And you own property, right? Mm-hmm. Does that help?
Yes.
Helps significantly. Especially when you're working with investors. Now, Andrew and Amy, you guys just got to the next level. Now you own property. Now it's like, yeah, I know exactly what the water bills are. I know exactly what the gas looks like. I know exactly what rents are. Hey, this is how I find a tenant. Don't worry, tenants are no issue. This is how you do an eviction. You know how many evictions I've done? In the last 7 years, I ran a property management company with 87 units before I decided I don't like managing for other people, right? But there was a point where we were doing evictions every single month. Every single month. Now we very rarely have to do them. And we've built a very good system where the tenants, all my tenants are on Facebook. Every single one of my tenants knows me personally. They can message me anytime. They have my cell phone. They don't, right? Because I'm putting the content out there. The other day I made a post saying thank you to all my tenants who paid on time. I appreciate you guys. They know who they are. The tenants who paid on time know who they are. The tenants who didn't know who they are. And I'll tell you what, there's not a lot of them. Because built a culture, built a community. Like, these guys like me. I like them. I want to see my tenants do well. They all know I'll sell them a house. They all know I love collecting their rent, but I want them to collect rent too. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. You guys you have that in you to help other people get rich. You have it in you to help other people rise up. Right? I was working with my brother yesterday. I was at City Hall. We were in community development, talking to the leader of community development, Mike Dion, and we were talking about opportunities for tax rebates. Did you know that they'll, for up to 11 units, that for subsidized housing, they'll give you millions of dollars at 1% interest? This city in Fall River will lend you millions to fix 11 units, up to 11 units. They can't do more than that in a building. But for 11 units, they can lend you the money so that you can go and do all the renovations you have. The only requirement is it has to be minimum low-income housing. But if you're creating good quality low-income housing, you're making good money. Right? Low-income housing pays good money. Section 8, that's right around market rate anyway, right? Mm-hmm. So why wouldn't you go and utilize the city's funds to fix properties in the city? Because why does the city give you money? Do you guys know?
Do they want you to buy more?
Well, to improve their,
They want the city better.
right,
That's
they want to brand the city.
They want to improve the city.
Right.
They want the city a better place. That's why they're giving us money. Okay, Joe, good luck today.
Thank you.
You're very welcome, bro. Good seeing you. Good questions.
Thanks, guys.
Good.
Make that money, Joe.
Make that money. Catch those deals. Offers in.
Thank you, everybody.
Later, bro. The city is giving you money because they want you to invest in the city. That's why they give you money. There's other opportunities, federal money, where subsidized housing, like, not subsidized, it's market rate housing. Market rate, they're giving you money to do market rate projects, right? Where you're getting money from, and then there's historical money, right? You can go, we have so many historical buildings in the city. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't use a lot of these programs, right? I use a lot of private money, I use hard money, I move much faster. But, because I don't like the deed restrictions. So I will say that there are deed restrictions in this. That's like the last thing they ever talk about. But it's possible to go into some of these buildings with big projects. The more you learn and train yourself on this, like when a buyer comes to you and they're not pre-approved, Lisa, what's the first thing you do when a buyer comes to you and they got a credit score of 400? What do you do? That. You laughed, right?
Yeah.
That.
There you go.
When a buyer comes to me and says they got a credit score of 400, I say, I don't care.
Yeah.
Let's go buy.
Right.
Who gives a shit? Like, I don't care what your credit score is. You know, why is it that way? Do you not pay your bills, bro? Like, like fix that, but let's go buy a house. Mm-hmm. You know, it's not going to stop you from being an investor. Can you work? Right? Do you have down payment? Like, do you have the ability to go and work? Oh, you know, I don't have a W-2, but I have 50 grand saved. Cool, let's go buy a house. I don't give a shit. That's not going to stop you. But the realtors in the city are poisoned by mediocrity. Right, Lisa? Mm-hmm. What are we taught? Mediocre shit. By mediocre people, right? I love my lenders. I got lenders who, like, I got one lender who I use religiously. Dave Pereira, Troy City Mortgage. If another lender says they can't close it, Dave closes it, right? I've got Keith, Keith, what's his last name?
I don't know. You just
Keith Rose.
Yeah.
Keith Rose at Webster Bank. Keith Rose at Webster Bank is the Vice President of Business Banking. If it can't close, he will refer me to somebody who can close it. I need 2 people in my pocket, that's it. Because they'll connect me with all the right people. If somebody comes to them and they say, oh, the credit's not there, this is what they have to do. It's boom, path, right? Nobody who has a desire to buy doesn't have the other options, right? The money is not an issue. When people say, I don't have the money, cool, let's have a conversation. Clearly you don't know about the wristband, right? You don't know what alchemy is, but we're gonna teach you. And that's it, right? every single one of you has to master these skills of money is not an issue. Money is abundant. Money is everywhere, right? I wouldn't have gotten to where I'm at if I didn't have this clear understanding that, like, it's just a decision. It's just communication with the right people, right? Giving something to somebody, giving value. I got here by literally going and begging people to let me work for them for free. This is how I got to where I am, right? I went to the richest guys and I said, dude, I'll do whatever it takes to just help you out. Like, just let me know what you want, what makes you money, and I want to do that for you. And I've worked for free for years, working for free for coaches, for investors, for agents, whatever it was. I worked for free to get the knowledge, right? Sometimes I pay to get the knowledge. Sometimes I pay to do work for them because that's what it took to get what I was looking for, right? And now these people are I've passed. So many of my mentors I passed. I'm way bigger than some of my earlier mentors, right? Way bigger. And some of the other ones that I have now that I've taken out, I'm like, oh my God, like, I am way smaller than where you're at. Like, you are so far ahead. What can I do for you? Like, how can I serve? Like, how can I add value to your business? How can you add value to somebody who's got way more than what you've got? What can you do for them? What value can you bring to them? And you know what always happens? Always, without a doubt. Anybody I've ever helped, all my mentors, after I go and do the deed, somehow I'm receiving money. They're like, oh, you said you do it for free, but here's what you're worth. Here's what it actually is, right? They can't, like, you can't give value and not receive value. It just doesn't work. Doesn't work that way. So you go out there and create value. Now get the deal. The reason we're talking about it is because I'm not teaching it again, hopefully, for the rest of the year. I'm teaching it early in the year so that you guys will have the knowledge so you can go out and hunt, right? I'm going to record it. Sometimes recordings don't work, though. So last night, Thursday, I went and I recorded Get the Money, and all I have is a Facebook Live video, but the recording didn't stay on my phone. So I couldn't put it to YouTube, I couldn't put it across, I couldn't put it into our website, so sometimes the recordings don't work. So there is a chance, a very slim chance, I don't want it to happen, but I may have to teach it again, which would annoy the hell out of me. So I'm going to teach it the one time, and I want everyone there. If you're a real estate agent, if you're a wholesaler, if you're an investor, bring everybody who is a wholesaler or a real estate who's going to work for you to this event. Because, one, it gets me more property. Two, it gets you more property. Three, it gets money in their pocket. Does that make sense? Let them pay for the ticket. Who cares? If they can't spend $200 on their success, if they can't spend 2 days on their success, they're not worth their success. Does that make sense? Right? I spent $85,000. I spent years studying, training, reading. If you look at my Audible, I've listened to audio for 2.5 months, like straight. Like that's 100% straight over the last 3 years. It tracks how many hours you put into it. Almost 3 months worth of hours. That's just on the audio, right? That's not the books. That's not the 3-day weekends, the 5-day weekends, the huge events that I go to, the constant, studying and reading. Like, guys, if you want to be successful, $200 2 days is a drop in the bucket. If you can't express that to the people who are going to work for you, because that's what this is. This is a training for the company you're building. You're building wholesalers around you, agents around you, to go and work for you, right? Who here has a problem making all the calls they have to make? Who makes 100 calls a day? Who here doesn't make 100 calls a day? Who here would like to train somebody to make 100 calls a day? Who here would like to train an army of people to make 100 calls a day? I agree with you. Who wouldn't mind if you get a deal, you get a 3-family house in Fall River or wherever your market is, 3-family house for $140,000 under agreement, and it only needs $40,000 worth of work, and it's worth $310,000. Who wouldn't pay $5,000, $10,000 for that deal? Nobody.
No.
Right? You'd all pay $5,000, $10,000 to the wholesaler.
Yeah.
So you're gonna make people rich, right? Because any wholesaler gets a check for $5,000, $10,000. They're like, that's the biggest money they've ever had, right? In one shot. Does that make sense? Don't you want to be the person writing those checks?
Yep.
I do. I love writing those checks. Like, I'm like, that's the check I want to write. I love paying a commission. I love like a little referral fee. I love paying somebody a wholesale finder's fee. because they made money bringing me more money. All right, at the end of that transaction, I'm making 80,000, 100,000, paying that 5, 10,000, no big deal. On the project that we're doing right now, the Brightman Wall Street project, the Walnut Street, those 11 units, when we sell them a year or two from now, that's a $200,000 profit. I paid my buddies 10 grand, and I cash flowed the whole time. Does that make sense? You guys have you have the opportunity to fill the room with your partners, your business partners, your employees, your teammates, your agents, your team members, whatever you want to call them. If you can't build an army of 5 people working for you, you can't get the deals I get. That makes sense? But if you, and I'm doing the work, I'm going to train them. I'm literally going to train them for you. You don't have to be as good as me. You just have to put their butts in the seats. You have to make them believe in themselves enough to pay $200 to show up. Right? Yeah, absolutely. Like, that's the sales pitch. That's the hard part, is getting them to show up. Because you can't motivate people. You can't motivate people, but you can inspire motivated people. You guys are motivated people. All I'm doing is giving you the spark. Just saying, here's the direction to make yourself rich. This is the path I follow. This is the path I want you to follow. Does that make sense? It's rare. It takes luck, right? It takes luck to be successful. We've heard that. I believe in it. I believe it takes a lot of luck. The harder you work, the luckier you get, right? And if you do the right things at the right time, opportunities only come once in a lifetime. There are opportunities that only come once in a lifetime. And if you miss those opportunities, like this training, right? I'm not teaching this again. I have no desire to teach this particular training again. I want to go off and train on how to raise private capital. I want to train people how to invest passively so I can get more private capital. Because I believe that this training will be enough for me to get all the deals I need for the rest of the year. Then you guys see how that would work, right? I'm going to train an army of wholesalers and real estate agents to go out and hunt for me. You can see how that could be a very productive, lucrative process. I don't need to teach it again. But this is for you guys, to build your business. To build your business, bring your people. I will train them. I'll do it the one time. After this, it's on you. But that's cool. I'm training you on how to train other people. Is that cool? So, it is GualterMurillo.com/intensive. It's $200. It does not include a table at the mastermind, but it gets you enough, right? It's the 2-day training. Somewhere in here.
It's $199 too.
Is it $199?
Yeah.
And does it come with 2 tickets?
It does.
It
It
does.
does.
Yeah, so it's worth it. October 12th, that's a different event. Yeah, the only reason I charge, who knows why I charge?
To make you committed to come.
Yeah, because I really don't care. I don't need the $200. The $200 is just to make sure you show up, right? The only reason my coaches charge me $10,000 is because they know that I'm not going to get on the phone if I didn't pay that money. They know me at this point. Whatever. I made a commitment, but I'm not too serious about it. But when I've paid 10 grand, I'm on the call every single week, right? Even 5 grand. I did the math. It's $100 a week. I could throw that away. But because I spent 5 grand all at once, I'm like, ooh, bro, that call's coming up Monday. We got to get on that call. Like I have band practice on Mondays at like 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock. And I have a call with Charlie Dobbins at 7 o'clock. And so if the call goes a little long, I'm like, nope, I'm still here. I stay at the call because I paid 5 grand for it. Now, if I was just paying $100 for it, I would probably dismiss it, right? This is how my mind works. So it's very intelligent. Make sure that they pay for the event. Make sure that they pay for it, because when they've paid for it, they will show up, right? $200 for somebody not making a lot of money is a lot of money. It really is. I know it is. $200 to me sometimes, like $200 for a stick of gum, I'd say no. All right, I have a lighter. I have a lighter I paid $200 for. You see this thing? It's cool though. It does light pretty well. And it comes with this little leather case, so that's probably where most of the money was. But like, you think about the value of a lighter for $200 or 2 days of training to make all the money. All the money, right? Like, list to last. You've heard that? So
What is
list.
it?
You got a list to last.
Yeah.
What that means in real estate is if you know the seller, you make all the money. If you're working buyers, you only get one side of the transaction, and then buyers are
Liars.
liars. Oh, we all know it. What, you've been in the business for a little while, right? So buyers are liars. You get a list to last. When you list, you can get 3 transactions out of it, easy. All right, you get the buy side, the sell side. You know they gotta go buy, so you're getting 1, 2 transactions, and then on the other side of it, sometimes you get the buyer to come in and you get both sides of the buy, the purchase and the sale, and then they go buy a new home. So you can get 3 transactions. We call those unicorns, right? When I was running the team before, I had 25 real estate agents all working for me. I was getting commissions off of everybody. When they got a unicorn, they got the highest of 5s, right? Not just a normal high 5. Unicorn is the highest of 5s. We're getting paid on all across the chart. Does that make sense? You can't do that on the buy side. So real estate agents belong knowing how to get the deal. They belong knowing how to raise capital and help their buyers raise capital, right? That's why we teach Get the Money. It's not necessarily just for you as the investor. It's for you to teach your buyers, right? When you're wholesaling a deal, Josh St. Fort was a perfect example. The deal I'm buying, I taught him how to buy himself. Showed him, made the phone calls right in front of him. I was like, here you go do it. And what happened was the deal was too big for him mentally. That's all it was, just too big mentally. Because really, who can't afford no money down? Right? Who can't afford no money down? All I did was have a conversation with the seller, got it to the right price, talked to my hard money lender, he brought 90, talked to the seller, he brought 10, talked to my friend, they bought the rest, right? And he would have saved the $10,000 fee to himself, right? Who can't do that? So imagine, I'm teaching my own client how to buy a property, right? I get a commission off of that. Or if you got the wholesaler, if Josh went and taught somebody to do the process I taught him, then he could have gotten somebody else to sell that. He just didn't understand the process thoroughly himself. Think he'll ever forget this lesson?
No.
No.
Hope not.
Is it okay that I won out of all this? I wanted him to buy this property. I so badly wanted him to buy this property. The entire process. I literally was like, dude, this is yours. Like, this is yours. You take it, run with it. Right? The entire time I wanted him to have it. And in the end, I'm taking it now and I'm like, only because I'm the only one at this point who's got the guts to do it. Now Josh right now is like, shit, I should have taken that. And now he's gonna take his check and he's gonna be very happy with his check. I know he's gonna celebrate and they're gonna have a great time, but they'll always in the back of their head, him and his brother will always think, what if? Man, like we should have taken that deal. Right? Same with the 24 condos. Those 24 condos. The guy who brought it to me, still a friend of mine on Facebook. He comes to all my trainings, watches all my videos. When he brought it to me, if he'd known that I bought it with no money down, same process all the way through, now he's like, really? Of course, yeah. And I asked him, I was like, what do you want? He's like, oh, just keep me in the loop. Okay, I can afford to keep me in the loop. It's very, very affordable, right? Here's what we're doing. This is what it is. This is the whole process. So you guys can get, without having to do what I'm doing, without having to be a speaker, a trained speaker, without having to get in front of the RIAs or do all of this work, all you want is to get a couple of really good people, real estate agents. Real estate agents can be good. They're not all good, right? But they can be good. Some of them can work. Most of them won't. So even though they'll say, oh, you're going to give me leads, oh yeah, I'll make the calls, they're full of shit, right? But if you can get them to pay $200, this is how you separate real agents from fake agents. If you can get them to pay $200 for their education, because most of them just think education's whatever, and it's free, and they just go around, they do whatever they want, right? How many trainings have you been to for free?
A million.
A million, right? And how much of that do you apply? Some. It's good stuff. You can't deny it's good stuff.
Yeah.
But applying, right? But you've been in the room and seen people apply nothing, right? Because they paid nothing, right? The $200 qualifies. You'll know if they can't pay $200, they're not serious about their success. Like it's not a sad thing. It's a favor for you. It's polarizing, right? When I pay for an event and I got to pay $200 to get to the event, I'm like, oh, thank God, I got no broke people in the room. I know it's all my clients, right? Cigar dinners are not cheap. Andrew, where you going? Where you going?
We got a show
What's
at
going on?
12:30.
Oh, hold on.
Bishop House.
All right, go ahead.
We have to do a show today.
Good seeing you guys. I'm wrapping this up anyway.
Okay.
So, get the deal. Bring people, especially you guys. You guys have a big goal.
Mhm.
Bring an army. Bring your people. Make them pay. Because if they don't pay, they're not gonna. It's gonna be a waste of your time.
I agree.
You know.
They'll pay.
You already know how it
I'm not
works.
paying.
Oh, I know. Later, guys.
Oh,
So, in all of this, so I don't want to end on smack talking to real estate agents. It's people in general. Later, guys.
See ya.
People in general who haven't paid for training don't appreciate the training. Get them to pay as a qualifier for you, right? It knocks it out for you. Building an army, you can't do this alone. If you try to build this by yourself, you'll be working till you die, right? But when you start trusting other people to bring you deals, you start paying other people, making it worth their time, they will work for you. As an agent, my clients market for me, right? The guys who are buying, they spend all the money marketing. They send me on the appointment. I go on the appointment. I take the listing or I sell them the property, right? I don't spend any money on marketing. That's a cool process, right?
Yeah.
Bring your clients to get the deal. We'll teach them how to market. They still need you to negotiate.
Right.
They still need you to close the deal. They still need you to go in and take the appointment. They're working their job. They're not going to leave their job to go down and meet a seller in Fall River to go have this conversation with them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense for them. So you've got to bring your people to get the deal so that they can work for you to find you the deal. And I would strongly suggest having them watch Get the Money if they are having an issue with money. Right? It's on YouTube. I recorded the longer version, the 4-hour version's on YouTube already. So that one does exist. I really wanted the hour and a half version though, because it's way easier to get people through that one. Any questions on Get the Deal, Get the Money, on what you're doing this week, holding yourselves accountable? What do you guys got? Questions? You know how I know I taught a good training?
No question.
No questions. All right, that said, Walter Morello /intensive. Guys, when you have a choice, always work with the best.